What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news video on this Sunday, almost March, 2 3 days, and it's March, so time is moving fast. The season is moving very, very fast. I think it will slow down a little bit in April, March because of the big games, and there's an international break, I think. So it will have a feel that will slow down a little bit, in my opinion. But it's moving thick and fast. We play on Tuesday against Torino in a big game, obviously, but a must-win game, 100%. Um, and yeah, but we're not going to talk about that today because we will do a preview and all that stuff tomorrow, post game on Tuesday. So no Torino talk today, but we're going to talk about Agnelli's latest interview. Like, it happened yesterday, but I didn't have time. I wasn't at home, so I'll talk about it today because he said quite a lot. So we'll go over that in a minute. But please, first, subscribe to the video. No, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit that bell notification. And yeah, let's go. Now, Agnelli spoke for the first time ever, like really for the first time since he left the club with the Telegraaf, which is a Dutch news outlet. And he spoke about quite a lot of things. He opened up first with why he left the club, basically, and it was very interesting. What he had to say was very interesting. And then you can question, is it correct or not? But it's a different angle to look at it. So I'll read it out first. He said, "I resigned from Juve because of a criminal investigation that concerns me personally. I cannot say more because the case is ongoing. On March 27, we will see if it's confirmed or not. Or not, yes. I don't want Juve to bear this burden. It has nothing to do with them, basically." Then he said, "A new board of directors can better represent the club and has nothing to do with the allegations. More, Moreover, I'm free to defend myself in court against any charges." He also said that the FIGC, so the Italian Federation, banned him without him being able to appeal, fight it. So that's a different angle because, again, we on the channel, me personally, I will speak for myself, said he got sacked. With that, I mean he got told to leave because the things he was being accused of were very difficult for him to defend himself from it if he's still in charge or like in a position at the club. So that's what he's basically saying. He's also saying it doesn't concern the club. We don't really know 100% what he's accused of and the entire board, but we always knew that it had not the charges they were charged with had nothing to do with the club. Now, the Plus Valenza thing, that's something completely different. That has also nothing to do with this. Basically, it's a wage thing that is the real, whatever you want to call it, the problem, if you want to call that. But he's basically saying, I left because it will, it will get Juve will get sucked into it without them needing to be basically drawn into this situation. That's what he said. And he also said that like the new directors are, they're there to just steady the ship, basically, because they're new, blah, 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 all those things. So he's basically saying, you know what, it's on me, it's on the board, like the charges, we needed to leave because we didn't want the club to get basically involved with that. And again, let's see, March 27, we will probably know much more on what the allegations were in the first place, because I think there's more. There's much more behind all this. I don't think it's just Plus Valenza and all that stuff. But again, let's see on March, in a month, basically, like a month from today, we will know more about that. Now, let's move on to, well, you know what? It's a Super League. And he had very interesting things to say. No shocking things, but interesting things. I think only Premier League fans and Sky Sports UK believe that UEFA were not involved in any of this, that owners were not, or like some owners or some people who were backtracking had nothing to do with it. I think they're also the only people in the world that believe that players are not open for this because they live in a bubble. That's basically it. But Agnelli said in 2019 we were ready. Seferdin and I, top clubs from all ICA subdivisions, had agreed on a new format. The mid-sized clubs in the big leagues, the managers of the big leagues, and some national associations saw the new format as a threat. So Seferdin withdrew. When UEFA decided to block the project, plans emerged from outside UEFA to organize a new league with all ICA clubs. Whether the project will get off to the ground will depend on the European Court of Justice. Now, I want to say boom, but it's not boom because UEFA were involved. We knew that a lot. We knew that it's documented. It's documented that even the FIFA was willing to improve all these things. It tells you how this is just about power. It is about power. It's UEFA not willing to give up the power they have on clubs without doing absolutely nothing. That's what Agnelli also said. Like they do absolutely nothing. They just set the date for the game, and that's it. That's all they do. Like they do absolutely nothing basically because the club is taking all the risk. The players are all taking the risk. The club is investing big money in all this. UEFA is doing nothing. They're just overlooking it, taking money, and basically telling all these clubs and players what to do and what not to do. That's what's happening now. But that they agree in 2019 to do something, it's not a shock. Because when the Super League came out, a few weeks, months after that, boom, the new Champions League format approved, which is kind of like the Super League new format, only it's shitter because there's less money for the clubs, and that's the biggest issue. The clubs want their money. They don't want, because he spoke a lot. He spoke about teams like Ajax, Celtic, Partizan, Anderlecht, all those teams, they will struggle in the coming years because it's in this current climate, it's difficult to live off incomes of Europe, and the next season, if you don't have that income, you're in big trouble. That's what he's basically saying, and that's a scenario for, I'm gonna say 75% of the team. Like they depend on getting money of Europe, and on top of that, we don't get, or the clubs don't get paid in full because UEFA holds back so much money. That's the biggest issue, and that's what he is saying. Now, I will say this really quickly. He also said the Super League is an open thing for all those things. You kind of blew that when you announced a league that was closed with 12 clubs. At that moment in time, you sent out the wrong message. It was never gonna work. I know what the idea was, to break away and make a statement, but with 12 clubs, that's never gonna work. Like, let's be completely honest. That was never gonna be a success. It will get bored at times. It is what it is. That was the biggest issue. If they came out with a new format and a new way and all those things, it would have been, how do you want to say, it would have been looked at a different way. Because now you basically said it's 12 clubs and that's it. Screw all of you. That's never gonna work. Like, that was a big shock. It was out there, out of nothing. That's the most important thing. It was completely out of nothing, and it made very little sense at the time. So that was the biggest mistake. But the UEFA is doing the same thing. They're basically doing the same thing, only with less money for the clubs who are taking the risk. That's what he's saying. That they were involved in 2019, no surprise. They're still involved. FIFA's involved. They want more games. They want more money, but they want the money for themselves, not for the clubs and the players who are actually playing, and taking all the risks. That's what Agnelli is saying. Then he goes on saying, UEFA is first in everything. Without owning anything, it controls everything, all financial, commercial, legal, and sporting conditions, while UEFA is actually only responsible for setting the date of the games in the European context. The clubs do all the work. That's it. It's very obvious what the clubs want. They want more money they deserve, because they provide the players, they provide the money that pay those players, they provide the risk, they have the risk, they do everything. The UEFA is just sitting back and controlling everything, taking a lot of money out of it that should be going to the clubs who are taking risk. I agree, that it needs to be divided a bit better, because a lot of clubs are depending on getting Europe, and if they don't the next season, they're in big trouble. Even big clubs, Real Madrid, Barca, they take out loans. Like, they depend a lot on these things. Obviously, not as much as us, but like smaller clubs, Ajax, all those teams, they do, and it needs to be said in a different way. I don't know what the idea is from the Super League. I rather think that if you're in a season, you get your money. If you drop out of the Super League or the new Champions League, you still get payment because you were in it last season. That's to help those teams who fall out still bridge a gap, because you make investments when you're in. When you fall out, it can go sideways, but they still give you a parachute package. Like when the Premier League clubs drop into the Championship, they get a parachute package to basically keep it all stable. That's what they're trying to do. Again, is it all good? Nothing is good. It's not that I'm saying, oh, I want to UEFA Super League because that's the good guys. There's nothing good. There's nothing bad. The only thing I do agree on is the clubs take all the risk. The players take all the risk. They should be getting all the reward, like most part of the reward. That's all I'm saying, or that's what all I believe. Excuse me. Then he went on to Seferin, and he ripped him. he ripped him. They're never gonna be friends again, which is weird because I think Agnelli is the godfather of his goal, of Seferin's goal. No, it's the other way around. So messy. But he said, I don't think the 2019 solution where clubs and UEFA were aligned is possible with Seferin and co at the helm. Also, isn't it strange that there is only one candidate for the presidency of both UEFA and FIFA, particularly those who are already there, Seferin and Infantino? Is this healthy? Can change be expected from these people? Seferin and Infantino will do anything to remain at the center of power to secure their privileges. I'm not going to lie. I thought about it a good 3 months ago when all those things came out, and I'm like, they really are the only candidates? It's not that they're doing a great job, the FIFA is in shambles. Like, it gets attacked right and left. Like, it's shambolic the way it has been moving in the last couple of years. UEFA is a mess. We know that. Investigations getting dropped, then picking up. Big teams, or like certain teams, and I'll talk about it, getting away with things other teams are not getting away with, and it feels all over the place. It feels like something is wrong, and I kind of agree with him. It's weird. It's weird. It feels like something is iffy over there. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. It's a big job. It's a good job, like you said, like a lot of privileges. You can do whatever you want because Seferin acts like he is filming a movie for the Godfather sequel. Like, it's ridiculous at times. The way he speaks, he attacked players at the time. Remember when Danilo and other players, but Danilo, because he played for us, came out and he said, like, I'm not taking this. Like, he's attacking players. That's not how a president of the UEFA should speak. Telling players you will all get banned if you join the Super League. That all happened, when they were saying, they're worse than Putin and all those things. That were real statements. It's very weird that nobody's talking about this. And yeah, it's strange. It's strange. But then I also have one more quote about the PSG president. But before we get into it, if you watch the channel, thanks. Like the video, subscribe. If you want to join the members club, you can join the members club. You get not free. You get access to the Discord group, the private chat, wallpapers. You get a badge around your name, emojis, giveaway priority because we're doing more giveaways very soon. And yeah, that's and we have more merch coming, good merch, like quality. I'm actually excited for that. So stay tuned for that. If you want to join. If you join, let me know on a DM that you joined, and I'll add you to the Discord group. But now let's move on to the final quote, where he spoke about the PSG president, who, they're not good friends. I'll put it like this: they're not good friends. He says, "My successor at ECA is Nasser, president of PSG. Nice guy. He didn't follow the Super League. He supported UEFA because another league is not in the interest of Qatar. Owner of PSG, no change can be expected from him. I agree with the last part. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, be the moral guy and be like, oh, your owner is bad and your owner this and your owner this. The only thing I say, to this day, I can still not understand how a club can be owned by a state or country. I just can't. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. I'm not here even sitting about, oh, but they're burning money. It's allowed by the UEFA. They don't do anything. So hey, if they don't change the rules, it is what it is. The only thing I do find strange and I will never understand is how a club can be owned by a state or a country or even a fund or like multiple people. It's multiple people maybe, but it's still a strange. If you know what I mean. I don't know. It's just a strange feeling. It is a strange feeling. I don't get it. I don't. I get why they're owned. You know why they have those clubs. I get why, and I don't want to be playing the moral card because that's ridiculous. Because well, Europe, like you cannot do that. I only find it strange that a club can be owned by a state or a country, you know, and that goes even if they sign us. I will be very confused about it. I will be like, how? For me, it's very hard to understand. Basically, that's that's all I'm saying, you know. But it's allowed by the UEFA, and what are you gonna do about it? You know, the same owners, quote unquote, made a bid on Manu, which is very strange, you know, because they own PSG basically. Like it's very strange. It's a very strange situation, but they're never gonna be friends again, and we know why he said no. You know, to the Super League. We all know that because the Super League is more money. It looks more prestige. It looks more modern. It looks more. There are opportunities out there because if you read the documents, it's about streaming. It's about giving the people the ability to watch games on demand and don't need 1,000 subscriptions to watch every game. Like it's completely different. It goes against everything broadcasters stand for, by having exclusive content and all those things, because it will all be controlled by the clubs. The money will most part be for those clubs. That's the biggest issue, you know. But let's see. Agnelli said in March there will be a decision of the court. If we talk about it, yes, they have a monopoly. Like, it shouldn't be allowed. But my gut feeling is saying because they have so much power and because it's Europe, and I think it's because of Europe wants to protect their own thing, and it feels like what the Super League is trying to do is be more, quote unquote, American. Not that it goes American, but my gut feeling is saying that they will rule in favor of UEFA, even though it sounds ridiculous because, yes, they do have a monopoly because they were trying to ban players and they're punishing teams like points deduction. Remember when that happened? Fines and bans for Europe, and then PSG or Juve, Real and Barcelona said no, we're not doing this, and other teams paid the fine, and then those three clubs didn't pay the fine. Like, it's all a mess. They're doing what they want, so it feels like, yes, it's a monopoly, but my gut feeling is saying they will rule in favor of UEFA. But yeah, that's Agnelli video. We got that out of the way. Now we can focus on Torino. We will do that tomorrow with a preview. So join me and Julian, or just Julian. I'm not sure about that. I need to check tomorrow. But there will be a preview 100% and a post-game live on Tuesday after the Derby della Mole. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification. Ciao, guys.